Right now, I'm doing about 350,000 in revenue. I'm doing that among 10 clients.
In today's video, I get to interview a good friend of mine and past Fearless Coach Academy student, Brad Borkus. Brad, I really appreciate you being here, man, today, because I want to unpack the journey that you have been on since launching your
Right,
coaching business, and it's been a while. So
brother. It's
what?
a pleasure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So why don't we start with just introducing yourself, share with the viewers here a little bit about your coaching business, who your ideal niche is, and what you help your clients with.
Absolutely. So my business, I'm a former business owner. I owned my own business for 12 years. Went through a lot of stuff and really had the experiential. So I connect owner to owner. And the owners that I connect with are owners that are courageous enough to be willing to set aside the success that they've enjoyed to experience a more predictable and peaceful success. And that's a difficult thing because for people to release the fact that they've had the success and what are you going to coach me on and what does that look like in that transition in that pace that allows the business to be more empowered in itself. So
I
yeah.
love it. So they're not driving from stress, from scarcity, from a lot of those things that get many business owners to start, but at a certain level of success, that's the very thing that's holding us back, right?
It's the
So,
limiting factor. Exactly. And it is very shortly in, we get to that point that the client identifies that, oh, so I'm the bottleneck. Yep.
totally, for sure. I love it. So your specialty is
So
focusing on helping business owners.
absolutely. Yep.
Now, I
Yep.
know it's been a while since we started coaching, but if we
Yep.
can go back to those times, where was your business at when you first started? When we started,
So
yeah,
yeah, it was a great, we talk way back machine. So I actually started working with Peter in like 2014, so
yeah,
almost 9 years ago. And so where I was at with then, I had sold my business early in the year, and I knew that I loved analytics and I loved supporting people, and I was a football coach as well, and so I love coaching. In but historically, I understood coaching in the realm of which sports coaching versus the open question Socratic method of coaching that it is in the industry. And so, as I had looked out there and I'd known Peter before we you were working with Lifebook.
Lifebook, yeah.
And so I knew you there and your energy was great and we connected and we became friends. And as I started watching you on your coaching journey, I started going, that's how I want to coach. The way that you were very just authentic, the way that you really just, there wasn't an agenda there other than you wanted to help people. And so I said, that's what I want to do. And so I reached out to you in that kind of following a little bit, kind of watch. You were about 2 years ahead of me, I think, at that time.
Yep.
And so I was kind of just, all right, show me what you learned, right?
Yeah. So
And a couple things really showed up in the marketing side of it, which is probably, the self-marketing side is probably one of my weakest points. And so for you, you really helped give me processes that allowed me to focus in on the assignment and then just be comfortable with doing. And with anybody out there looking for, if you're trying to get into the coaching and doing, how do I build my coaching business? So much of it is in the doing. And if you can get somebody like Peter that gives you a list of things, they work, right? Like they will work, just do them. It really helps so much. And it really gains your confidence. And then you can start branching off and say, oh, I also want to do this or that. But that foundational confidence is invaluable.
thank you, Brad, for
Um,
sharing that. How
but
was,
then
I'm
also,
curious.
oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead. No,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, but also Peter also helped coach me in becoming a coach.
Mhm.
And really the part of my journey that I was already on, but that self-growth journey that I continued to need to grow into in my own self-confidence, in that imposter syndrome and all that stuff that we as coaches go into. Who am I to tell somebody else, and guide them on what to do? And one of the things, it's interesting in transition, it's something I use to this day, is I tell people, you give them what they want, then give them what they need. And you put that years and years ago, and I love it. And it really brings so much peace into, because one of the things I had to reconcile with is being a coach and be told that when I give advice, that's not coaching. Well, and back and forth. And I am now at peace. I am a coach and advisor. Now, a
Yes.
lot of people aren't that. And also, here's the other challenge is I am a generalist business coach and advisor. Not many people are that. A lot of people want to be that and lose their niche. But my niche is the business owner and the struggle the business owner goes through. You helped me really refine that and understand what that was. And it was tough because, if somebody asked me, what industry do you want to work in? I don't care. I love because at the business owner level, at their late at night, that problem is similar if you have a small boutique store or if you're working a large conglomerate. It's the same. And so that was my niche. It was really tough for me to transition. You really helped me understand that was my niche, and that's how I serve.
Yeah, and knowing, Brad, your journey, you were your ideal client. Like, think about that, right? You as a business owner went through a bunch of challenges, reached a level of success, was able to sell your business, had a lot of amazing results with that, and had challenges that you now know, and you have life experience and expertise to help others on. So that, for you watching this, that's what I want you to take away from what Brad just shared, is that for you to help somebody with a problem, you want to make sure that you've got the experience to have solved that problem yourself. That's a really important piece. Yeah.
You know what, Peter, speaking to that, there's two things that you had taught me on that were really, really important here. One is that some of the greatest value that you have to share is the challenges that you went through. So you got to turn yourself back to yourself. And that actually is me. There was a point where I was kind of a hard driver, and I realized I would break people. And that's not how I wanted to build a business. And I also see people out there that are just working so hard trying to solve a problem. They're in that space. So my negative parts of my journey, or my challenges, was a gold mine of space to help other people. So that's the first part. And then the other part was this part that's, and I think you said you just have to be one step ahead of the people that you're coaching.
Yes.
You don't have to have you don't have to have the whole thing solved, but you have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to be cathartically connected to them, and to know one step ahead of going, this is where I was there last week, or I was there a month ago, or I was there a year ago, and walk through them with this journey, because it's not about telling them exactly what to do. It's about walking a journey with them so they can explore what they need to do. Yeah.
Totally, for sure. Now, I want to talk about marketing, because that's an important piece. You even shared that was one of the weaknesses in your past, was really that we worked on a lot together. With that being a weakness, then how did that show up in the business? So knowing that marketing was a weakness, how did that impact leads, clients, income, things
avoidance? Like that? Either I'm good enough and they'll come and call me, or else this is not meant to be. It's just like,
it was what's that great movie, baseball movie from the 80s, Field of Dreams. If you build it,
yeah, exactly.
Just hang a flag, I'm a coach, and then people are going to come to the door. Like, not exactly. It doesn't work that way.
And it's so funny, because like I talk with people and they think I really got some good insights, but so really that falsity, that thought I could just do that. And then all of this stuff in the sales and the marketing process, there's times that you have to present yourself out there that says, I'm good at this and I do a good job. And me being from North Dakota, right, we're conservative, and you don't talk about yourself and you don't do that stuff. And so it was really difficult for me to have a voice that went out there and said, I'm going to get you results. Now, if I was ever put in a position that challenged me, I could always say, I'll get it. I was a competitor in that way, but to go out there on general media and general marketing and be able to say that I've got something that really serves, felt braggadocious, and it felt unauthentic. And so when I was able to working through you, is to craft messages that were authentic to who I was, and that unleashed it. It allowed me to say, hey, that's who I am.
That is huge. I'm glad you shared that. And it's bringing me back to when we were, working so much together, because I remember that resistance for you. And I remember how much was unlocked when you found and connected to the way that is the best way for you to authentically share your message, because it's so easy to get lost in all of the hype on social media today. If we fast forward, this was back in 2014, we fast forward to today, you and I have seen this industry explode in good ways, right? It means there's a lot of demand, but there's also a lot of hype. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of over promising and under delivering, sadly. And so what you don't want to do, for you watching this and hearing Brad's story, is you don't want to model the people that are all hype, that are throwing these big claims out just because they're getting clicks and they're getting views and stuff like that. Because if you can't deliver on what you're promising, the world will find out. And I genuinely believe that there's a shakeup that's happening in the industry right now. I think that you and I have been coaching for a while. We're the veterans in the industry now, right? We were newbies at one point, but we're the veterans now. A lot of these newbies, and again, I help coaches that are just starting. but you just
Yep.
got to be careful of some of the sizzle that you see online today, and ensure that your message aligns with your values and is true to who you are. Because a lot of people's sophistication, their awareness is growing to where they get turned off by that stuff now. Right.
Yep.
The
Yep.
fake, the renting the Lambos and the posting on private jets that are not even theirs is
Yep.
just smoke and mirrors at the end of the day.
And you know what? And that's the thing that you speak so clearly to that. And speaking to everybody who's watching this, and the fears that show up with that. The fear that shows up with that is that you see them and you see them forced on you so much, they must be getting revenue. And for me to be able to serve, I got to pay the bills. So we get attracted to that revenue. But if you connect authentically to that message, the long-term development. So when I sign on clients, I have clients that have been with me for 9 years. I have a long relationship with my clients because my focus is about continuing to create value for them and asking where value looks, how do we recreate value? And so that is really important, that if you're authentic with that message and deliver and consistently deliver that message, you'll attract the people that you need.
So true. Love that. Well, let's zoom into today. So
Sure.
you've worked with clients for a long time. Some of them you worked for 9+ years, which is incredible.
Mhm.
That's very rare. And that just shows the value that you bring and the relationship that you have with your clients. Where's your business at today in terms of, number of clients, income, results? Where is it
Yep.
at these days compared to where you started?
So right now, my business has done well. Right now I'm doing about 350,000 in revenue. I'm doing that among 10 clients. And so one of the things so it's interesting you talk about that. So when we first started, the connection that through Lightbook was chiropractic as well. And I talked to a chiropractic friend of mine, and I said, "Do you do coaching?" He said, "Yeah, I do coaching." "Oh, well, how much do you charge?" "$400 a month." So that's what I started at. 400. That sounded right. That was what resonated. And so now, I charge for a weekly session. It's 3,500 a month. But I actually have, with the alignment method, I work on site and integrate with management teams. And on that one, that's 5,000 to 10,000 a month. And so it really depends on where they're at with that experience, and really being comfortable with yourself to grow with that and to be where that is. And so the courage, people jumping to one. And there was a really cool saying one time I heard that said, I don't know if it actually, I think you gave me one, the Prosperous Coach, right? You gave me that book, right?
Chris
It was a
Griffin,
great
yeah.
book, and there was something that he had said one time that said, how much should you charge? And it says the amount that you don't feel like a fraud when you say it. And it really is, because there's and really authentically, that you can connect with the fact going, yeah, I can create that value. And for me, this is why, it's important, why the more revenue that I generate, the better. Because here's why. My rule is 3 to 1. Like any good investment, I want my clients to at least get back 3 to 1. And so that means that I've created darn near $1 million worth of value for my clients. And so that's actually a really good thing. And as long as you stick to your principles, that you are exchanging, right? Just like Francisco says, value for value.
Yep.
If that's the extent, then grow on. Yep.
100%. And again, that's proof, because you've got clients that you've been working with Brad for 9 years, right?
Yep.
So again, for the viewer watching this, Brad didn't start charging 5-10 grand a month. You started at $400 a month. Yep. Right. So again, it's very easy to fall in the trap of comparing your story of where you're at now to Brad's right now, but Brad's got a lot of experience and you may just be starting your journey. Okay. Yep. And again, we want to make sure not to compare ourselves to others other than our previous self. Right. That's the most important thing. Clearly, you have developed skills even more. You've become more structured in your coaching. I mean, the level of support where you're doing on-site visits and working with management teams, that's more of a consultant than even just a coach. You're working a lot with these companies.
Absolutely. And part of it's become my coming to terms with, what am I as a coach? Right. And so for me, I'm a coach and advisor. I tell them things I think that based on my stubbed toes of the past, I think you should. And in coach in a really kind of holistic, organic coaching, you kind of don't. You just kind of reflect back in this space. And so I have space where I do that and space where I advise. And so becoming to that piece that exists. And so in the alignment method, I've created a process where I help organizations live in alignment with their values. So they define their values and they actually model actions at the ownership level, then at the executive level, right? And then down the organization so that the organization acts in alignment with that values. And that's all been kind of a manifestation of the growth of the work that I've done from the beginning, so.
I love it. I love it. Well, it's been a journey with you and I of working together for a long time too. And so knowing what you know about working with me and working with Fearless Coach Academy, who would you recommend look into getting support from us in terms of a coach? What stage or what challenges would they be facing that you would recommend us to?
Well, that's a great point because there's a lot of several stages that can come back in. First, as you are kind of getting into coaching, and kind of understand a little bit how you want to coach, but that marketing part that just doesn't feel like you're getting traction there. Yeah. And what's beautiful is that Peter and his team create kind of a roadmap there for you that just says, just do this, just commit to the actions. And that part really is sustainable. The other part is if you're a coach that is growing your business and you see something possible, you see an accelerated possibility. A lot of time, the way to communicate that message, seen from someone like Peter, who sees messages all the time, can help you construct that message and really refine that thing to go to another level. Because those upper levels, it's really about speaking to the person and really understanding what their pain is. If you can understand that and you can deliver that, you've worked your craft enough that you can get to a point where you can do that. You need Peter for the message to really support that. So and critical. Then just that marketing support. Yeah. So
yeah, I always say that the marketing strategies and techniques, Brad, that we share are incredible. But if the messaging is off, they're worthless, right? Because the messaging needs to cut through the noise. And so the idea is, how do you share a message that, and you've heard me say this a bunch of times, enters the conversation that is already happening in their mind, because then you actually got their attention. And when they watch your video or they read your post, now they know you're speaking to them and there's more of an alignment there. So,
and one of the things I learned from you too was building that cathartic relationship with this creating a message. The part that says, I would ask you, your clients and the people watching this, when you think about the person you want to help, what breaks your heart that they don't have or can't solve? Yes. If you connect to that, and for me, it's clients that they can't find peace in their life with all the stuff, the success that they've had. Their health has gone to crap. Their families have gone, like they've struggling with that balance and that alignment that exists with the peace of life. So,
so true. For the coach watching this that knows they want help, but may be a little bit nervous about reaching out for help, right? Maybe they're worried about admitting that they need help, or the investment scares them. Is there anything you would share with them?
Yeah, I think that's the especially as you're starting out, you depending on how you stepped into coaching, right? If you jump full, there's a finite bucket you've put of finances to be able to do this. Remember that this is the investment. And if you know how to coach, your investments really need to be in the places that you are weakest at. And so if you're not investing in this side that can take you and give you the rhythm stuff that you can do to take off your business, that's a fear that you have to sit with. And that is courage, right? Courage is not being afraid. It's being afraid and stepping through. And that's what the fearless mindset is meant, is that it's meant to tell you, I know you're afraid, and that's okay. But realize if you did the math and you said, what do you need to do to reach that goal that's on the other side of complexity? For you to do that, it's investing in this marketing. You got to do it. You got to take the trigger and stand up for yourself, for the value that you could potentially serve this world. Make the commitment.
Yeah, Brad, so true, man. It's never easy for me to hire a new business coach or a mentor. And I always do it because I feel like if I don't learn that skill set, or if I don't break through that limitation, it's not only hurting me, but it's actually a disservice to all of the clients that I get to serve. Right. I recently hired and made a huge investment on hiring a YouTube coach, because YouTube is a new skill set to me. It was a lot of money. It's been a lot of time. It's been a lot of work, but I'm blown away at the ROI that I'm getting from it. And even at this stage, it's still scary. So just know that if you have that hesitation, it's normal. Feel into it and know that everything that you desire is on the other side of fear. So
and know that when you jump in both feet. Don't say, I'm going to test it out for a week.
Yeah.
You got to give it an extended amount of investment to say commit to it and know that this is the path for you. Yeah.
Totally. Well, Brad, I know some of the viewers are going to be watching this and feel really connected and want to actually connect with you. So where is the best place for them to go to connect with you, to learn more about your coaching? Where would you send them?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you want to talk about anything, go to callwithbrad.com. I make it real simple, and if you want to just talk about, my experience with Peter, or you want to talk about, how does what I do work? I'm an open book. I will share all my secrets, whichever secrets there are, right? This is what I've been blessed to serve for the last 9-10 years in doing this. And so anything I can do to help.
Yeah. And it's amazing. Since then you've gotten married, you have, and a family that
right?
you lead, like it's incredible.
2 little ones that drive me bananas. It's great.
Exactly. So. 2 little ones. I've got 1, so I can't imagine 2 right now.
Yeah. Started in North Dakota, lived in Hawaii for a while, back to Houston. And we're all,
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, Brad, thank you for sharing your story, man. I really appreciate it. For you watching this, if you are curious and you want help with growing your coaching business, if you're curious about Fearless Coach Academy, I think the best way to learn more is to schedule a complimentary call with us. What we will do is we'll take a look at your niche and your price point and your offer to see what's really possible for you in terms of the next 12 months. And then we'll map out a whole 3-step game plan. And you can take that plan and you can implement it on your own if you want to. There's no expectation or pressure around coaching with us. If you are curious what it looks like to work with us, I'm happy to share the details. Just know I'm an open book. So if you want to schedule that call, what you can do is, if you're watching this video on one of our pages, you can just click the link below to actually not even click the link. Go to the calendar, schedule a time, and book the call. And if you're watching this live on Facebook, then just comment details below and we'll send you a link to book a call. Brad, thank you so much, brother, for sharing your story. It's been an honor knowing you. I mean, you've been a friend of mine for a long time now. I'm so blessed that we got to meet many years ago through Lifebook, and to see the growth that you've had, the impact that you've had with clients is remarkable. So I really appreciate you sharing your story.
Well, and it's a testament of your ripple, right? And that's the ripple that you have, that you affect me, that I get to affect others, that they get to affect others. And that's us doing good things in this world, huh?
It is, man. Yeah, we are blessed as coaches. We get to have a ripple effect for sure.
Yep.
All right, man.
I'll love all you other coaches out there too.
Yeah,
keep doing it.
For sure. 100%. All right, brother. Thank you.